to begin the rest of your lives. In a rapidly changing world, you must expect the unexpected. Anything may happen, so you must be ready to grasp the opportunities which come your way. And one of the great things about a university education, especially at graduate level, is that it gives you the tools to do that. Habits of intellectual curiosity, yes, you are curious, aren't you? Of thinking for yourselves, yes, you can think for yourselves. Of fair-minded evaluation of the evidence and of the arguments on both sides, and above all, the ability to work hard without being told to do so. Yes? I do hope it's also taught you how to have fun, because it'd be a great waste of a university education if you haven't had a lot of fun on the way to your degrees. Another message from my life is just how radically women's lives have changed during it. There were only 3 colleges for women at the University of Cambridge when I was there, and 21 colleges for men. Now, this was an unjust built-in quota, which of course you would never see today. We thought nothing of it. We just revelled in the best sex ratio we'd ever known in our lives and were ever likely to know again. But there we go. We were also told, the women students of family law amongst us, that it would be a good idea if we forgot our family law the moment we'd passed the exams, because knowing our rights might make us into bad wives and mothers. I don't think it has. But now, of course, women are entering our law schools and the legal profession in equal, if not greater numbers than the men. This has been going on for a long time, but there are still not enough women in senior positions. Why did it take us until 2004 to appoint the first woman law lord? That was because the women were not being noticed and their talents were not being recognised as they should have been. There still are choices to be made, there are still battles to be fought. Please, young women, do not think that you have no difficult choices to make. Please, young men, support them in those difficult choices and don't think that they're the ones who've got to make all the decisions. But why did we all go into law in the first place? Well, assuredly it wasn't to be popular, was it? The general public and the politicians do not like lawyers. They see us as doing all kinds of shady and unpleasant things. Collecting debts on behalf of loan sharks, making people bankrupt, foreclosing mortgages, liquidating companies, facilitating hostile takeovers, devising tax avoidance schemes, prosecuting the innocent and defending the guilty. And perhaps above all, vindicating the human rights of some very unpopular people. And in vain do we try to explain that this is what the rule of law is all about. The rule of law means that everybody is expected to obey the law and to meet their obligations and to face sanctions if they don't. But the rule of law also means that those sanctions mustn't be meted out arbitrarily by unaccountable state officials. They must be imposed by an independent judiciary, sworn, as I have sworn, to do right to all manner of people, after the laws and usages of this realm, without fear or favour, affection or ill will. I consider those to be some of the most beautiful and moving words of the English language, and I do my very best every day of my working life to live up to it. We have them engraved on the glass screen in the entrance hall to the new UK Supreme Court. So it is our duty as judges to uphold the rights of all people, and we're very fond of quoting your Justice Frankfurter, that it is a fair summary of history to say that the safeguards of liberty have frequently been forged in controversies involving not very nice people. And as our Lord Steyn has put it, even the most wicked of men, and he might have said women too, are entitled to justice at the hands of the state. So we have upheld the rights of some people who are maybe very dangerous indeed, not to be exported to states where they face a real risk of being tortured, not to be locked up indefinitely on the orders of the executive because they're suspected of terrorism, which can't be proved in an ordinary criminal court, not to be subjected to coercive powers on the basis of evidence which has been obtained abroad through the use of torture, not to have their liberty restricted without knowing enough of the case against them to be able to mount an effective challenge to it. I could go on, but these are all cases which we have had to decide in my court since I have been a member of it. We are able to decide them the way that we do because we now have our own Human Rights Act. You, of course, have had a Bill of Rights for a great deal longer than we have, but for us it's quite new. And what Parliament has given us, Parliament can take away. You may know that on Tuesday our Queen is about to open our new Parliament. The judges attend arrayed in their finery. Some of them even wear full-bottomed wigs. We in my nice new modern court have given up the full-bottomed wigs, but the rest of them are still clinging to them. So along we go and we sit in Parliament at the foot of the throne and we listen to Her Majesty telling us what her government is going to do. I had the honour of being among the judges doing that in 1997 when she announced her government's intention of enacting the Human Rights Act. I hope that when I go on Tuesday, I am not going to hear her announce her government's intention of repealing it. Keep your fingers crossed. There's a message for all of you in all of this. We in the courts can't do our job of doing right to all manner of people without the lawyers who bring these cases to court. We can only decide the cases which come before us. We don't go looking for them for ourselves. So we need dedicated lawyers who can recognise an injustice when they see one and make the arguments which enable us to recognise it too, and who are prepared to act not only for the big battalions, but for the little folk, the poor folk, the people whose rights are most endangered in society. That is your job. And so we need the lawyers, and even more do their clients need them. So please do not be afraid to be unpopular as you go about your essential work as lawyers. In the newly created home for the Supreme Court of the United Kingdom, we have many quotations to remind us of our task. One of them sums up what is good about the law and lawyers in today's world, where we are all interconnected, whether we like it or not. It comes from Martin Luther King. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. So go out, all of you new lawyers, and fight for it.